Hi everyone. We kind of got into the weeds in our meeting today with all the questions, so I thought I would do a recap for those of you who could not attend. We do have a campus closure form, just like we've always had for closures for the entire campus. Typically, we use this when we have snow cancellation, so it's the same kind of thing. There are just a few little changes to it this semester. One being that we now have a range of days for the cancellation since we have such a big cancellation this time. So you can put the number of days that you missed your class, and you can put the first day and the last day instead of having to fill out a separate form for each day. You do need a separate form for each course. It's going to ask you for the number of class hours missed, the number of contact hours. If you're not familiar with that, take a look at your syllabus. It's going to be broken down for you in your syllabus and your description of your course. If you still don't know, ask your supervisor. So, for instance, my course has 4 contact hours. It's broken down into 2 class hours and 2 lab hours. So, I would put for 2 weeks missed of class, I would put that I missed 8 contact hours, and I would put 4 class hours, and I would scroll down here and put 4 lab hours. I don't have clinical hours. That's mostly for health sciences, and I don't have work based hours. So, again, your syllabus is probably going to tell you all that. You're going to choose the type of cancellation. Of course, this is weather related. And then at the bottom, you're going to detail what you did for makeup. Now, you don't have to get too detailed if you're going to use one of the physical days for makeup. For example, we missed the 30th of September, so if you're going to use the Monday that was going to be fall break, you could just put physically made up 9:30 by utilizing 10:14 or something like that. And then if you are giving an assignment in Moodle, you do need to be pretty detailed about that one. So you could say, like, for instance, on one of the days we were going to have a quiz, and so I went in and put the quiz in Moodle, and I just said we did a quiz over metric conversions, and that was for the makeup of, and I put the date. So just make sure that you're detailed on that, and it will go to a spreadsheet for collection. So that's the closure form. I did have some questions about did we need to fill out a form for online. I'm not going to fill out a form for online because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm just going to take regular attendance. So we missed typically take attendance on Fridays for my online classes. So I missed taking attendance on the 4th of October. That was one of the days that I missed. I'm just going to go in and I will take attendance for the 4th of October. Now, will it be on the 4th of October? No, it won't be on the 4th of October. It'll be whatever assignment I gave for the 4th of October. That's what we've always done for online classes. We've not worried about, documenting those because we already have those assignments. You may have to do some creative things with your calendar. You may have to cut some things. Just make sure that you're covering all your outcomes, that you've got enough content to cover the time requirements for your classes, but you may have to cut some things in your courses just to be more efficient. So that's what I did. I went through my calendar, I cut a few things, I rearranged a few things, I took some deadlines off and told the students what the deadlines were, but I left the assignments open so that the students could still submit them late for no penalty. So I will have attendance for some of those days. I might not have those yet to be able to put in there. So I'm just going to hold my place and go back and take attendance when I have those things ready to take attendance with. Dropping, we talked about dropping in the meeting. We're encouraged not to drop. If we're not sure where those students are yet, let's give it a little bit of time to shake out and see if we can help those students, see if we can help them recover a little bit. Let's think about the student instead of maybe filling out paperwork right away. So let's hang on to them for just a little bit until we can figure out what's happening with most of our students. Along those lines, I went into my logs in my courses. And I'll show you where I went. I went into the gear wheel, and I went over to reports. I went down to logs, and all I did is I pulled up each student one at a time, and I clicked get logs, and it's a pretty quick, painless process. It's going to show the top date, the last time that student was in there, so I was able to quickly make a list of any student that I had a concern about. So I had some students who hadn't logged in since the 25th, which was before the storm. And so that those students went on my list to check on and to do an Aviso early alert with, send an additional email specifically to them, maybe go in Aviso, find their phone number, check up on them. So it's really important that we check up on our students if we're not sure what's happening with them. For those of you who are not familiar with the notation for attendance, I'm going to go in here. You can tell I had a meeting with this because I made everything very large on my screen. I'm going to go into self-service. So I'm going to go like I normally would take attendance. And for the days that I missed class, I would simply go in here to that particular day. So let's see. We missed the 30th, which was a Monday. So the notation that you use is you go in here and you select absent, excused for each of those days. So I'm just going to go through and select each one of them. And if you'll notice when you're finished over here, those attendances are going to populate over here in this E column. So you'll see that I have now one day that I have notated as the absent excuse. So the E is what we use for our weather closures. So that's what we notate on the attendance guide for that. So I would go and I would do that again for the next day that I missed, which was that Wednesday. So I would go back to that Wednesday and I would do the same thing. And I would then have 2 days. So I'm going to end up with 4 of these days because I missed 4 days of class. So that's what I would end up doing for that. Now, if you decide to physically make that up, you could always go back and take attendance on that one of those days, the day that you're using for that physical makeup for that fall break day. I think those were all of the questions that we had. So this coupled with the closure form, coupled with whatever you post in Moodle, and you can see what I did is I sent an announcement out and I put the makeup things that we're doing in one separate module so the students don't see all these things with the orange dots. They see where we were already in class, and then they see this storm documented makeup. And I did a narrative for them of exactly what we're doing and what it's counting for. And then I put the assignments in order there that we're going to do. I did not give them a bunch of extra things. These are things that we would have done already. I just pulled it out, counting it for the makeup. That's the goal here, is to move along with class, teach them the outcomes that they need to learn, and not to pile them down with a bunch of extra things. So we want to make sure that whatever we're doing with them are things that they're going to get something out of. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have questions.